them taking away 3 of his champions still. That Gragas getting taken out, but that left Nidalee open, and we know how terrifying a Nidalee can be. Those spears late game with the death cap of Void Staff and the Athenes and Holy Grail from the unlimited mana. Just so strong. But Shyvana coming in from the side of KLH, and we'll see what they can do as our picks and bans still go underway.
All right, so a couple of other things to notice. We actually saw there's a band out in our first best of 3 of the day. It's going to be a Nidalee locked in there for Wind, and while he probably won't be playing that champion, we could see side lane split push Nidalee.
Yes.
Split push worked relatively well in the last game, but AP Nidalee, this is 3.13, so has not received the nerfs that she did in 3.14, and while those weren't just completely detrimental to her champion, incredibly strong in 3.13, so really excited to see that out there. We saw the 3 AP carry bans coming out from KLH in game number 1. They're just sticking to those 3 bans, and it looks like Hong Kong Attitude know exactly what to pick, even without their mid lane champions being available.
They're like, you know, you keep banning out PaSa, but there's other things he can play. Apparently his champion pool is pretty huge. And with a coach like Toys, who was formerly from TPA, the Season 2 World Champions, he's kind of helping out their team, and I'm pretty sure he's given a lot of tips and tricks to PaSa, but KLH, they picked up their bot lane support combination in that Caitlyn and Annie already, so looking for heavy poke, looking for a lot of damage. But HKA responding with a Shyvana pick of their own, which is most likely going to go over to Wind, and potentially, not potentially, it's going to be a Vi for Faye in the jungle.
All right, so we're going to have to watch out for the jungle pick for KLH, but it's interesting to see KLH just saying, all right, you guys got your turn with Caitlyn, Annie, now it's our turn. And interesting to me is going to be who they actually choose to play as their AD carry, because while JaeYoong used to be their AD carry for a long time, that's pretty much everything he played. Played mid there in the last game and didn't actually have all that bad a performance, but it really wasn't about the mid lane deciding that fight. It was the jungle just running everywhere and killing everything. Yeah,
after that early 2-for-1, it kind of threw everything off balance, and just completely that lane just was not looking good for JaeYoong. But maybe looking for a repeat performance or looking for the Nasus Jax, as Jax does get locked in, so could potentially see a more aggressive top laner for Golden this time, and a farm-heavy jungler in that Nasus for XXF, unless they have a hidden Jax jungle that we don't know about.
And that's what I was expecting, because with as strong as Nasus is, especially in 3.14, you just cannot let that guy up the top lane. In 3.13, before the lifesteal nerfs to Nasus, all you did was run 6% lifesteal. You started the game with 1,600 gold in lifesteal, minus the attack damage that you would get from the Band Scepter. But either way, you just have way too much sustain up there. You can sit there forever, and especially if you run the heal summoner that JaeYoong has now, probably won't keep that way, but you get extra health per level if you do empower that mastery. So just saying, it's a possibility.
Mastery's gone though in 3.14.
Rest in peace, old masteries. I was looking through the mastery trees to find out what these players are running. I'm like, wait, I can't use those masteries anymore. So the sad days are gone, but now you can buy lots of Targon's braces. So
Relic Shield first.
All right, so
and then Targon's.
Nice to see the evolution of League of Legends. But taking a little bit of a step back to 3.13, it's going to be the last picks locked in for a Hong Kong Attitude, and it's going to be the Lucian. We saw it game number 1, and it's going to be the wife steal lane coming out again. 100%. There you go. It's Lucian, Thresh, a lot of lore coming out of there, but it's going to be interesting to see how they go up against the lane that they ran in the last game in Caitlyn Annie.
Yeah, and I guess they have a response for it. They know how to counteract that one. Maybe 2v1 could happen. Maybe a little bit of lane swap coming in. It could be possible. We never counted out.
True.
But maybe I'm just thinking too far ahead. They still need a mid laner potentially for the side of KLH. And they're hovering over the Tristana. That might be JaeYoong's most prominent champion in the mid lane there, that Tristana, which he didn't have too much of an effect that last game with, and going up against PaSa's Nidalee, that's going to be a little rough.
All right, locked in once again. Now, keep in mind, you could switch that up and have a Caitlyn mid. I've seen it before, probably not, especially against the Nidalee. I mean, traps on traps is one thing, but yeah, like we said, JaeYoong didn't actually do all that badly, but running an 80 Tristana mid is not something I've seen from any other servers, so I'll have to see if JaeYoong can have a little bit of a better performance against PaSa's Nidalee if you let that Nidalee get going. If you don't put the pressure on, it's great to farm to a late game Tristana, but late game Nidalees are just as terrible. terrifying.
Late game Nidalee has always been the bane of solo queue's existence, as well as a lot of challenger tier and professional games, as we have plenty of good Nidalee players in NA, when Bishu, and we've seen a ton of people play it. But we're gonna get loaded in as everything ticks away, and we're gonna be getting underway with game 2 at IEM Singapore with Hong Kong Attitude taking on Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
All right, so loading in, something to watch out for. We talked about the jungle pressure being incredibly important. This time around, it's going to be a VIII taking on a Nasus. And if Meteos showed us anything from the last split of LCS, it is that Nasus can come back from just about anything in the jungle.
Yes, he can, and become that scary dog that everybody fears. But coming with a VIII, he has a lot to fight for in the early game. He has to make it out of the jungle to get to late game. So we'll see if VIII wants to let him do that. But it's heal on JaeYoong in the mid lane on that Tristana, which is something I'm interested about. And we're loaded in and getting underway as everybody's going to look to leave the base very soon. And we're going to see if anybody postures aggressively.
All right, that is why you don't count anything out. We talked about the heal summoner early. I was kind of making fun of it, but it gets locked in, and JaeYoong...
Just to spite you.
He's listening from across our massive auditorium here at IEM. Somehow, it's like Jane Eyre going in there. He's manages to hear me, and there is the heal summoner on JaeYoong. I don't believe he actually empowered that with the defensive tree, so it's just going to be used there as kind of a, oh, you thought you were going to snipe me? Just kidding, I can heal myself. I'm not sure how you... Usually you want to be somebody that's in the middle of your team so you can heal up the most people with the summoner spell, but I don't know. We'll have to see what JaeYoong hopes to do with that. Both teams setting up for the level 1. And so welcome to the game. If you're just now joining us, it's a 1-game advantage for Hong Kong Attitude after just a slow but dominant game number 1. Spear.
No, that was not lag. They were actually just standing still right in front of each other, testing patience, and then a spear came out and he dodged it. But we see aggressive wards come. Oh my god, the spear actually connected. So, 1 for 1 so far. I don't think I'll be able to keep track this whole game, but I'm going to try to.
Spear number 3. Here it comes. PaSa. Oh!
Completely juking himself out there, but he goes back into his position, and they're having a little fun. But already, early wards coming in from the side of HKA. They have 1 in the upper Shrine Brush. They have 1 at the entrance to the Dragon in that little brush there, and then they have 1 at the blue, so potentially could see some early counter. But Spear's going to stop JaeYoong's back.
Yeah, JaeYoong stopped from backing right there. Means that he actually shouldn't continue to back. He's going to be stopped even further. Hasn't really accomplished a lot of things. And starting out your lane at half health, that's why you don't sit there in the mid lane and play that sort of poke game early on.
He's running 4% lifesteal, so he can sustain some of that back up. PaSa's low on mana. He's got Thorn's Ring, but I think he'll be able to sustain up and be fine in this lane. But we do see a blue buff start for the side of XXF. And a red buff start for the side of VIII, but up top, it's going to be Wind in a 2v1 already initiated by the side of KLH as RedHotRayz leads that charge with wAhzLeNs. And XSF going to get this one out with a smite and an auto attack and hit level 2 off that little golem and go to red.
All right, so Nasus is actually forced to use Smite early on. Means that if VIII wants to walk straight to his red buff, that's a pretty easy attempt at stealing that away. It's going to go for a little bit of a safer start. Both junglers starting on the bottom half of the map and then moving top side means that they could look for that early 3v1 dive. But with HKA's fail there in the area, could be enough to keep Wind safe for now. Now, game number 1, we saw a very push-heavy, very sustain-heavy side lane performance. Didn't really get to see how these solo laners fared in 1v2s, so we'll get that opportunity here. Game number 2 continues. No 3v1s being set up, just straight up farming through the jungle for both teams.
Yeah, and I like what RedHotRayz did up top there. He dropped the ward at the entrance of their tower just out of range. He's able to spot out Wind there and potentially a gank if they were going to get ganked early. So a lot of safe play coming here from them. PaSa getting forced out a little bit. The 80 heavy damage coming in from JaeYoong as well as the explosive shot going to mitigate some of that healing and do a ton of damage to him. So going to force him out early, but late game is where Nidalee starts to shine. So does Tristana though, so I want to see how they both scale and play it out. But just respectively, the 2v1s, they're just farming it up and keeping it equal, and it's just up to seeing how the solo laners can deal with it.
All right, so as far as solo laners go, you won't see too many solo laners until maybe 5-6 minutes if you do want to go for that very fast early turret push, but it doesn't look like either team are really calling their junglers to help out the lanes. Junglers just living up to their names, sticking into the jungle. Could look to see gank attempt VIII. Coming in from the back. No, back's on off for now.
No, he's still there. He's sitting there. This potentially could be really good. And also, Vault Breaker can interrupt Rocket Jump in the middle of the animation, so we could potentially see that come out. But nope, jumps over it and completely just makes my statement false there. But it'll be a nice little safe JaeYoong in the mid lane.
So both side laners really getting denied off of CS. You can see 7 to 4 CS, nothing really happening there. Mid lane Spear does land to start trading that damage away. The problem with this mid lane is that there's so much sustain for PaSa once he starts to get on towards his Athene's Unholy Grail, even just Chalice of Harmony. Be a lot left there, but Win, holy cow.
Oh, Golden's actually going in down bot, gets the stun into perhaps the Wither gets dropped out there. There is the Spirit Fire, going to be a Siphoning Strike to hit him just a little bit slow with the red buff as well, but they're not going to be able to get much out of this just yet. No flash was burned, no exhaust, everything's still up for the side of HKA. They did force Golden to jump out there, but he still has all of his summoners, and that could have potentially been very dangerous. But up top, we do have Faye holding on to this turret while Wind was forced to go back after a really good trade from KLH, as he does use the Vault Breaker to clear out some of that wave. We do see XXF come back in here. There's going to be a stun and a flay, as now they're initiating, and the first blood goes over to KLH in a really good performance right there. They withered, they got the stun coming in from Golden. Oh man, is Ngod gonna get chopped out here? It's gonna be an auto attack in the wither through the dash. The flash forward comes in from Golden, forcing out Ngod's flash. He'll be forced to go back, and now with only barrier as a summoner, that's gonna be really risky if XXF wants to come back down again.
Oh, Ngod reacted, I guess, reactionarily. He was like, okay, I'm getting jumped on, better flash away, or better use that Relentless Pursuit. But Relentless Pursuit removes all slows from your champion, so if he had actually waited to receive the Wither, he could have just cleansed that away, dashed away, wouldn't have had to flash there. So Summoner burned nonetheless. So great job there by XXF, who having a much different start to his game here in game number 2. Kindle Gem before his Spirit Stone down there.
Oh, but up top, actually, RedHotRayz is going to get chunked out there. Ton of damage coming in from the excessive force as well as the Vault Breaker, and we do see them forcing him back, and just going to go back to CSing and keeping his AD carry safe and wAhzLeNs. In the mid lane, though, JaeYoong has a big wave building up. He's harassing down with that explosive shot, preventing some of that healing, and taking a little bit of a CS lead. Ngod, though, falling behind his counterpart in that 2v1 in wAhzLeNs, as we do have Faye sitting up there for quite a while and keeping Wind with a little bit of a zone and helping him farm up.
I feel like this game, the mid lane is going to be what the side lane was in game number 1. Just AFK farming things out there. Yeah, both teams really confident that their mid laner is going to do better with just a ton of free farm. And you can kind of see where both of them are coming from. 6 item Tristana. I don't know any 6 item champion in the entire game that's scarier than that. I don't know, maybe 6 item Kassadin. Jax, maybe, but Jax is really much more of just a, hey, I'm going to jump in there, great 1v1 duelist. Big presence in a team fight, but still, Tristana, a lot of late game potential. Death Sentence
connects in. There's going to be a stun coming in. It does connect through Ngod's Relentless Pursuit. We're going to see him Piercing Light, not be able to follow up with that Gunslinger passive. We do have a Vault Breaker charging, hits a trap, though, forces the flash on a RedHotRayz. He's level 6, has the Assault and Battery. With that flash down on RedHotRayz, I think he's going to loop back around and try to make a kill attempt up in this top lane, especially with Wind being very close to 6. Lead Dragon's Descent can be available, but it looks like the first tier 1 turret of the game is going to go over to HKA, as they're going to be pushing really hard with that Lucian Thresh lane.
And they're going to get that taken care of in the mid lane. Once again, just continually farming things out there. Oh, PaSa. PaSa's waiting.
The Blind Spear, he gets it! Through the Smite, and PaSa stealing away XXF's blue buff. A beautiful spear and beautiful ward placement, and that is why Nilly is very annoying.
Yeah, for the mid lane there on HK, nothing truly impossible. Taking that buff away, and then probably will be able to take, oh yeah, he gets the cannon creep. That's the big moral victory on top of that. It's like, I can take your blue buff and my own cannon creep in time. Makes it home in time for that one. Top lane, it's been more fight top laning this game than doing a lot of jungling, and credit to KLH for keeping him out of that jungle where he had such a huge presence in game number 1, forcing him to be more of a side laner and really disallowing him from having that big carry effect.
Down bot, we see a little bit of a trading coming out. Golden is winning out a little bit. Double Doran's doing a ton of damage. We see Wind going a little bit more for a tankier route. He's got the Ruby Crystal and the lock on the Cloth Armor. So potentially could be looking to build the Aegis for the team. Not sure just yet with that build, but could go a ton of routes. So we'll see as the late game progresses. But a sneaky dragon from the side of XXF on that level 6 Nasus pops the Fury of the Sands, and we are seeing Nidalee walk over again. Can PaSa steal a dragon?
Oh no.
No, he cannot. Siphoning Strike and Smite get him that one. Well, now Wind is going to get stunned out by that Jax. And they're chasing it down with the Wither. Going to force the Dragon to descent. And he's going to be able to fly on out of there. But PaSa going to get jumped on. Drops Ignite. Turns into the Cougar form. Hits the Claws. There's going to be a Flash Assault and Battery out of Golden. Can he get out of there? Gets ignited in the Claws. Pick up the kill for PaSa in that Cougar form. They lose Dragon, but they pick up 1 kill. But still, KLH have that minor gold advantage.
You can tell KLH weren't on the same page. Golden's just like, all right, I got this. We're going for it. After the Dragon's descent, I kind of feel like, you know, hey, you burned the ultimate. It's great. It's time to leave.
Yeah.
But Golden went a little bit too far, wound up getting taken out for it, and that gives the first kill for HKA. Death Sentence not going to land just yet, but Ngod getting a nice trade off of that.
Yeah, he tries to go for the backwards play. They're trying to pull in RedHotRayz into a bad position, but can't get it, but still just attempting. And RedHotRayz level 6 now. Tibbers available. A ton of burst damage could come out. Even perhaps is not level 6 just yet. Auto attack harass coming in from their phenomenal range. Across the map, though, Golden trying to freeze out this bot lane just a little bit. Going to get most of that. And Destin is blindly not going to connect up there, bro. We do have XXF. Oh, whoa, all right. A little bit of a mishap Tibbers there, but he'll be able to help push the wave at least.
That feel when you don't have a teddy bear to go with you to the prom, but really just need one. RedHotRayz just wanted some extra company there in the top lane. Misses the stun. That means that Ngod doesn't have to worry about the stun, the initial damage, but the immolation aura
damage coming in right there. And now a flay out of 2 members. Box comes in. wAhzLeNs is not going to move towards it. A stun goes in onto Ngod. Ignited. Auto attacks coming in like crazy. The culling comes out. Kills the Tibbers, but the ace of the hole forces the flash out perhaps. And here comes Faye. Can he get anything with this one, though? It looks like he stops. Cannot get the assault and battery as it's not up. But he does stop the aggression. They're very low in this top lane. They need to go back.
They're going for the dive.
Are they going to go for the dive? The assault and battery is up right now. Just came up in this last second. Can they get the kill? RedHotRayz flash is not available. He's going to just go in with this one right now. Destiny does not connect, but HKA and Ngod picks it up. And now wAhzLeNs going to be their target as Faye picks it up. That's going to be a 2 for none. And a tier 1 turret in the top lane to make it the second turret of the game for HKA.
Yeah, you just can't stay there. We talked about the seconds left on that cooldown. They could have just straight up turned that team fight around.
Here comes XXF and JaeYoong right now. The Wither gets not dropped just yet. He's going to drop the Spirit Fire. Flash forward at the perhaps. There's going to be a reset of the rocket jump for JaeYoong, but they're going to be content with just getting 1 kill and avenge that poor Annie and Caitlyn.
All right, so I love what KLH just did there. They had the opportunity to repeat their mistake that they made in the bottom lane, and after picking up 1 kill, go too hard for the second one, but instead of doing that, did just decide, hey, we're just going to take 1, back off. So it is still a favorable 2-for-1 exchange for Hong Kong attitude. Yeah. They can still, KLH still able to counter out their plays, come back and make a few of their own.
Yeah, and now trying to make a play up top here. JaeYoong is going to rotate up with the help of XXF. We're going to see them push this wave up very hard. Faye, not with too much wave clear potential. A lot of damage being laid in here. Siphoning Strike is going to hit him in the face. The Wither is slowing him down as well. JaeYoong pops that rapid fire and will take down this tier 1 turret and grab KLH's first turret of the game in the top lane.
Rapid fire, probably my favorite move in the game. It's always nice to have a little bit of a shout out to myself and also JaeYoong. You got to give this guy some
in the
credit.
mid lane. Actually, they're jumping out to HK Win right now, but they stopped.
All right, so
it looked like it was fun.
Somewhat anticlimactic there. It's like everybody running at each other and nobody really accomplishing a whole lot. KLH stuck at their mid lane turret, and yeah, what I was gonna say, JaeYoong mid lane Tristana. He's running heal. I don't know why, but it's working out. He is 1-0-0.
Hasn't used it yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's 102 CS, highest CS in the game by just 1 or 2. Bit. So it's nice to see the mid lane Trist working out. Not something that I'm too familiar with, but I'll have to see if it can make it to that late game. That's really why you put sort of a big farm champion mid. Just like, hey, I can just wave clear the lane, back off to the turret, and just have a little bit of an easy out.
Whoa, Wind going out to wAhzLeNs right now. There's Faye, Assault and Battery. Gonna look to take out the other cop there as the 90 caliber net is not enough to stop the Vault Breaker as that'll be a kill to Faye, but in the mid lane, perhaps is getting jumped on by JaeYoong. He's going to use the Dark Passage for his shield. PaSa's coming in. It's going to be the Buster Shot, and the Destinant's still connecting after his death, but the Rocket Jump comes in. The Flash Pounce comes in. The Minion Block going to help PaSa pick up the kill. JaeYoong goes down to PaSa, and that is going to be potentially a blue buff trying to be stolen out there by a spear, but XXF was 1 step ahead this time. But the tier 1 in the mid lane looking to be the last outer to go down here as HKA want to go in, but KLH is looking to respond to this one. There's a stun coming out of the Ngod exhaust. Not the exhaust, but the Ignite goes down, and that is going to be a dead Ngod as the Fear of the Storms and the Wither and everything coming in, the Tibbers as well, and they will pick up 1 kill and keep the turret alive, and now look to counter push in this mid lane.
All right, don't think we're going to see a dive just yet, but man, if the first tippers didn't really work out for KLH, that one just completely effective. RedHotRayz got in there, stunned them out, and were able to pick up a kill there on to Ngod. So if we want to take a look at what's stacking up, what's strong for both teams, you actually notice a Morellonomicon picked up for PaSa. That's a very early game item. You don't get a lot of benefit from the gold per 10. You don't get a lot of stacking up from the tier, which he has as well. So he's going for a lot of early game.
Death connects. Actually, he's going to go in. He's going to flay him backwards with the rocket jump. He did it. The bounce comes in the heal as well. And it's going to be the bite coming in from that Cougar form. PaSa picks up the kill. A spear to XXF. The turret is almost dead. They're going to focus this one down after a really, really well played flay. There's going to be another one to XXF, but RedHotRayz shows his face, and they will back off spears to clear out some of the minions, trying to hit onto that Annie, but cannot get it in time. And more spears going to come out. That blue buff and tier still stacking up. That was a beautiful play from HKA's. Perhaps.
I don't think they had realized that Frost gets here tomorrow. Like, Madlife's not in the building just yet, but you get a little bit of a preview.
Here comes Jax. It's a double stun onto PaSa. Can they chase someone down? Ace in the hole in the face. The calling, the death sentence as well to pull them backwards. XXF gets poked out. There's the assault and battery coming in, as well as Ngod picking up the kill. He gets a blue bomb on this one. The flay onto Golden, who's trying to jump in and do something. He's exhausted.
Oh my god, perhaps.
The gunslinger passive helping pick up the kill to Jax. And now Ngod gonna dash forward, but there's a dragon in the back. Can they tame it? It looks like no. Ngod gonna pick up a quadra kill. As now JaeYoong comes in from the back and cannot do anything. There's going to be a tier 2 being pressured and possibly going down. Unless JaeYoong can get a kill out of this one, he's going to look for the death sentence from perhaps, but cannot get it. The turret is going to be held here as JaeYoong does spawn in time, but a quadra kill for Ngod.
Ngod definitely living up to his name. That guy is ridiculous. 4 kills in that just one team fight. And I'd like to point out his itemization, not going for the Bloodthirster build, just hitting up the Trinity Force. And hey, it's good enough for 4 kills in that exchange. Hong Kong attitude. A little bit of a nice engagement to start the fight off for KLH, but HKA fires back.
Yeah, and he's got 1,600 gold. We see their team actually going for Dragon right now. Faye has the smite available. He's just going to be able to grab that one and snag it really easily. So capitalizing on everything from the side of HKA. They've gotten 2 dragons so far. They're showing a lot of dominance. And oh my god, that spear just chunked Yoong.
And he doesn't, there's no death cap, there's no needlessly large rod on PaSa. It's just that Morellonomicon, and a nice level advantage there as well. We'll be able to see us relatively easily at the turret and clear that wave off for now. But if you're KLH, you're like, okay, well, we had lost a team fight. We need to make something happen now. What do they look to do? They're putting some pressure mid. They have enough wave clear to keep that lane pushing. Especially with Golden's side lane, even if mid lane doesn't work out, bottom turret should be a nice target for Golden to try to take down.
Yeah, and we could look to see them push this one out. They're still down by about 4.2k gold. They're trying to keep up. They're trying to stop the relentless pressure coming in from HK, perhaps showing Madlife-esque moves there on that Thresh and just showing us a great performance. We're going to see as Red Buff gets passed over to JaeYoong here. His heal's almost up for the next fight. He's got flash available. We could potentially see some Insect Tristana play, some Tristek?
Tristek? I don't know. JaeYoong pulled it out in game number 1. Does he still have it in him? Spear lands, but the lifesteal is just giving him enough sustain in lane.
Oh, the field goal right there.
RedHotRayz, man. That guy is definitely on a diet. Ooh. There's the spear to land. And that's the great thing about Nidalee Spears.
Oh my god, I'm piercing light.
Okay, you
can't get this one?
You can't stand anywhere near the turret. Another spear, half health XXF. He's going to have to go back to base, and the push continues. So much poke from sources you wouldn't necessarily expect to see.
There's a dive in the bot lane right now, actually, as Wind comes behind Dragon. The second connects on the goal as he gets ignited. A ton of damage. The Ardent Blaze as well for an assist. And with that dive, wow, Wind actually gets out of there after taking a ton of turret shots. HKA grab their 5th turret of the game. That tier 2 in the bot lane, looking to pressure down onto an inhibitor turret, while PaSa makes his home in that side of the wall, throwing spears like he was in the Olympics. As now the inhibitor turret is going to be their target. The Tibbers does come out and gets death sentence. Doesn't really stun up too much. Faye gets ignited and dropped out there. Oh my god, Ardent Blaze comes in. The calling coming in. Can it pick up the kill through the Fear of the Sands? It looks like no. wAhzLeNs eats another one to the face. That is going to be a dead inhibitor turret and possibly inhibitor with how much KLH needs to heal.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they just can't stay at that turret. Death sentence misses.
Okay, Spear misses as well. He's gonna get the Blade of the Rune King, perhaps. Gonna get initiated on here. 2 stuns, everything. JaeYoong picks up the kill. The box is gonna slow him down for a little bit, but can they catch up? There's a flash and a wither available to XXF. The Relentless Pursuit was just used right there. Ngod gonna get jumped in on. He's forced to flash away. Has red buff for a little bit of kite. There's a Vault Breaker onto the blue buff. Faye is gonna get chased down. Can they do anything else? Spears now for the disengaged flash. Wither gets actually dropped in there onto PaSa. He's forced to flash away. Vault Breaker. Assault and Battery actually the golden right now. He flashes away from that one. Can they pick up anything from here? It looks like Faye will pick up one, going on the killing spree, but pass off that gold to Caitlyn. The damage from Ngod is too much right now. Red buff and kiting away from XXF. Siphoning Strikes. Gonna do a ton of damage. He turns his attention to the Annie. Picks up the kill. Can he get XXF here is the question. The Spirit Fire from XXF picks up the kill, and he will make that into a 3 for 3, while Wind, being gentle and silent, just pushing up in top.
I don't know if there's that's whipping up like a typhoon or a storm of some small particles that can be melted down into glass, something along those lines, but it's definitely picking up as now Wind just straight up tanking that top lane turret, takes it out. When you have a champion versus turret matchup, I feel like the turret should usually win that, and it just goes to show Wind just incredibly strong at this point in time. And speaking of incredible strength, we have some increasingly interesting itemization there in the mid lane.
Saros Bracelets completed in 19 minutes. A very fast Saros at that end. Now Magi's Soul Stealer, so he's really confident that he's going to pick up assists and kills with those spears.
All right, so doesn't get much more confident than picking up a stacking item. Even has an Elixir of Brilliance there. Whether or not that Magi's choice was brilliant, we'll get a chance to see. Max range spear onto Baron Nashor. Doesn't actually, yeah, he doesn't even take damage if you're not in range, so
that's okay.
It's somewhat unfortunate. But he's going to be pretty happy about that. His counterpart in Dragon will be back up in a minute and a half. But yeah, it's going to be all about Baron, all about pushing up that top lane. Oh, JaeYoong. JaeYoong, please. Spear come out.
Oh. All right, well, with that, we also didn't notice that perhaps had 5 pink wards in his inventory, taking complete control of the red side of the jungle. We do have oh man, RedHot almost getting tagged out there by that Destinance. They're gonna exchange wards and glances, and he's gonna look to clear out that green ward, and now Baron control in the complete control of HKA.
So for now, yeah, Kuala Lumpur Hunters, they are forced way back to their base, and it's not just Baron that they have to worry about. Keep in mind, it's capable of being like 2 or 3 manned right now by HKA. They have to worry about Wind in the bottom lane. This guy has completed his magic resistance for Mercury Treads. He's got the Sunfire Cape going on. So much split pushing capability that it's going to require Golden to split against him. The only problem is that while Jax is great at split pushing 1v1 dueling, Wind can just walk away.
Cutlass and turning around, gonna hit with the Twit Fangs. Auto attacks from Annie, trying to help out. Gonna get that breath through them, and it looks like he's gonna keep the pressure there. But a nice split push coming in. It's gonna be a 3-1-1. Actually, never mind. Lucian's joining the fray up top, so it's gonna be a 4-0-1 coming in as they leave Wind alone. Destinance comes through the wall, not gonna connect, and it looks like the spear connects on the RedHot. Oh, not enjoying that one. Ardent Blaze as well. That is gonna force him all the way back, while Golden and Wind go at it in the bot lane, just trading a ton of damage. Blade of the Rune King comes in. Dragon's Descent as well. He's gonna be forced to run away here. Gets the breath. The Ignites are ticking. It looks like they're gonna trade it very close with that one, but Golden has the home field advantage and will be able to sustain back up. But still, his tier 3 in the bot lane getting poked out. That spear doing a ton of damage to wAhzLeNs, not having a good time. And this is a mid to late game in Italy that you do not want to see.
Spear come out. JaeYoong, the AD carry that doesn't get hit by those. Disengage. Hong Kong attitude. They are not going to overstay their welcome. They realize that they don't have any pressure in the bottom lane. So 4v5s, no matter how far you are ahead, probably not fights you want to start.
No, but it looks like they're going to steal away the red buff, give that one over to Ngod, and see if he can stay the miraculous AD carry that he has been with the quadra kill under his belt. But now triple traps out there. Those Yordle snap traps are going to prove to be a little bit of a problem, but not for perhaps, as he will eat one to the face, take a wither, and right back on out. But those spears still just chunking away at the members of KLH, and there's not much they can do against them right now. Traps come in, they're just going to eat those. It's going to be a Dark Passage to shield up the damage. Faye will eat the other 2, and now Ngod gets a free little bit of auto attacks to that. Takes his Relentless Pursuit out of there and eats a explosive shot. Going to take a little bit of damage, but it's going to be Dragon soloed out by Wind, taking out one of his own kind, which is very sad. But Now, it's going to be initiation up top here, coming in from Golden, forcing the flash on. Two-man Timbers comes in, Spirit Fire as well, and that's going to be Thresh going down as JaeYoong is still alive in the back line. Faye is going to flash up with a spear.
Golden!
Picks up the kill on Golden. It's going to be as well an Annie falling to Ngod, but JaeYoong jumping in, trying to chase down Ngod. 90 caliber net comes in, flash forward from JaeYoong, but the heal from Nidalee healing for about 600 HP. Going to keep him safe, but PaSa now on the chase. A Witten down bot, going to be able to push down. Ignite gets dropped onto XXF. Can they do anything else? The spears aren't landing right now. PaSa is going to heal himself up for a ton, and the push is going to continue while Wind looking to grab a free inhibitor down bot as they're sending XXF over, but he cannot duel him right now, and even with the Wither, the Bite is going to come in as well as the Dragon's Descent, and that inhibitor is going to fall unless XXF can do something with this one right now. The tier 1 does fall to minions, so giving a little bit of gold over to KLH, but actually Wind gonna be held off here.
Oh my.
The Bite comes in, but it gives enough time for Golden to flash forward with the stun. The Blade of the Root King coming in as well as a ton of auto attack. There is one more leap and an empowered auto attack to come in from Golden to pick up the kill and stop that split push, and that is the inhibitor that could. That held on for a long time.
If you guys are new to watching tournaments that I cast, like either ALCS, NACL, you are familiar with Steve, the one Nexus turret that can. I'm not sure if Steve has a brother in an inhibitor, but man, that guy held on for a long time. It was nice to see sort of the tag team there between XXF and Golden, because I was almost sure that XXF would have been either able to just trade or would have lost that trade, but it's Golden coming into the back. XXF knew exactly how long he had to stay alive, traded that kill out, and kept the inhibitor alive. So Death's still coming out there for KLH. We'll have to stop that if they want to turn this around, but inhibitors stay up. And keep in mind, this is 3.13, so all lanes will be affected once an inhibitor goes down, so a much bigger factor to keep in mind.
Yep, and still, we're not seeing a 5-man group come in from HKA as they want to keep the split pressure from Wind. They're sending him back down bot. wAhzLeNs is going to help clear out most of this mid lane. The blue buff's going to get passed over to XXF as no one else can really use it as efficiently. Spirit Fires all over the place. Withers on a nice little short cooldown for him. And Golden going back to base now. Still hasn't gotten the Trinity Force just yet. Still sitting on that Phage. Sells the Flask. And blue buff over to PaSa as he goes for a Warden's Mail on his Jack. So looking for a little bit more tankiness and some armor to deal with Ngod and Wind and Faye. But we are seeing KLH group up by the top turret. They know the plan that HKA has. They want to split push and get this inhibitor turret down.
Now Wind is down there in the bottom lane, something we haven't talked about almost over the course of this entire game. XXF is up to 320 stacks, so Wither onto Faye will be able to get...
Ardent Blaze comes in, JaeYoong jumps in! Assault and Battery turning it around, the heal keeps him around for a little bit, but Ngod says, no, you are gonna die. Flay out of 2 members, Box comes in, wAhzLeNs gonna be Ngod's target, he's gonna be forced to flash and barrier away. Flash Spear comes in as this flickers all over the place, damage and stuff happening everywhere. The culling onto RedHotRayz as he's gonna be dove, and it's gonna be a kill over to Faye, as well as Golden gonna be forced to jump away from Wind, who's gonna farm the wave, but the inhibitor in the top lane is gonna fall. And with 30 seconds on the respawn time of 25s currently, this could potentially be game or possibly 2 Nexus turrets at least.
Golden's gonna have to recall back to base. No home guard boots, no even second tier boots, so he's gonna have to sit in Fountain or come in to face a 4v1 with half HP. Last Nexus turret will fall. The Nexus under fire. Golden gonna go in there, jumps in, gets taken down very low. Can he find a kill?
No, he cannot. Wind is gonna find the kill there as the Destin is still connected to a minion. JaeYoong's gonna be the target, but Ngod not giving up the pressure onto the Nexus turret. It will fall, and HKA gonna 2-0 Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
I don't know, maybe they need to find some koalas to hug. You know, they're very soft and cuddly and very reassuring, because that was just absolutely brutal. HKA Hong Kong attitude taking it with a vengeance, 2-0 against KLH.
That was a very dominating performance from HKA. This is a team that is on pro level. We said before, they've taken down Singapore Sentinels in games. They've taken down Taipei Snipers, I think it was, or Assassins, I forgot what it was, but one of those Taipei teams they've taken out, and now taking out KLH and showing a very strong performance. We're going to actually have a nice little rematch against Cyber Games Arena Legends.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cyber Games Arena actually came out, and I believe they actually lost their own tournament, the Cyber Games Arena 2013 Hong Kong tournament, to KLH. So they're going to, in their 1-1 score, kind of tied right now as far as tournaments won. They will have to go up against Cyber Games Arena Legends. as they look to, I guess, decide who once and for all is the better team. Coming up in the grand finals, which I believe we'll be casting tomorrow, I think.
I think so. That's on the schedule, I'm pretty sure. But nice 2-0, though, either way. And I'm excited for the next set for grand finals, as it's going to be Hong Kong Attitude taking on Cyber Games Arena Legend.
Yeah, we saw a great comeback from Cyber Games Arena Legends in our first best-of-3, second best-of-3. No comebacks there, as Hong Kong Attitude just absolutely crushed the hopes and dreams and eternal memories of Kuala Lumpur Hunters. They're going to go back, and I mean, it's cool to come out here, and it's IEM Singapore. You get to play on a huge stage, a lot of experience that you can draw from this opportunity. Hong Kong Attitude, they're going to be drawing a little bit more experience as they return in the grand finals to face off against their somewhat nemesis in Cyber Arena Legends.
I'm wondering if Cyber has anything up their sleeve for HKA.
Well, they pulled out the no AD carry team composition.
We've seen that happen a lot in NA, though, from Curse Academy. They've done the double bruiser Tryndamere Jax, okay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Curse Academy were shedding a single tear during that game. They're like, Oriana AD carry. I don't know about that one, but it didn't work. They were able to bring it back, to come back from that one-game deficit and take out Detonation Focus Me. Yep. So it was a nice comeback in the first best-of-3, second best-of-3, just a 2-0 domination there of KLH by their opponents. And when you keep in mind, you're looking at Hong Kong Attitude, a team that maybe a lot of people haven't necessarily heard of. If you guys are diehard fans of the GPL, then you know all about what KLH are capable of. They've beaten the very best of that entire league, whether it's Singapore Sentinels or Taipei Snipers, both of whom are playing in the pro tournament, both of whom have had losses at the hands of Hong Kong Attitude. So a great team coming up here into the grand finals of the amateur tournament. We'll have that coming up later on, but keep in mind, IEM, it's not over. It's not just today. We have the Pro League of Legends tournament coming up. It's going to feature the likes of Mad Life coming over in CJ Entis Frost from Korea. You also have the Chinese powerhouses in IG coming in as well. So a lot of other high-quality Southeast Asian League of Legends content to round out the roster, and you've got the makings for 3 more amazing days.